followed suit and left, Munsayak did not speak to him. Paragraph 34 says, next, Madriaga drove a car to the parking compound of the office of the Ombudsman. He also brought another duffel bag of money and placed it inside the car. When he arrived at the Ombudsman compound, a guard signaled for him to park in a specific reserved spot, and he did. He placed the keys on top of the left front wheel and left. He then saw someone retrieve the keys and drive the car away. Within the same period, Colonel Nolasco gave Madriaga a white Toyota Vios with money in the amount of around 80 million pesos. Following Colonel Nolasco's instruction, Madriaga drove the white Vios to a parking lot inside SM Mega Mall, parked and locked the car, placed the keys on top of the left front wheel, and moved away. He then waited for someone who retrieved the keys and drove off. On another day, Madriaga saw the same motor Vios driven by the wife of Ombudsman Prosecutor Ryan Ray Kilala, named Rhea, who was a classmate of BP Sara at San Sebastian Law. Now,
If I may interrupt, Honorable Chua, you are more than 5 minutes, so kindly wind up.
I will already wrap up my statement. Madam Chair, dito po yung sinasabi kanina ni Congressman Rupos na conspiracy. So dito na po napunta yung sinasabi po ni Congressman na hinahanap po natin kanina yung 125 million with all the documents. Kaya po yung COA naglabas ng AOM, naglabas ng kung ano-ano mga pangalan na eventually nakita po natin yung mga pangalan ay hindi makita ngayon. So ito na po yung sagot sa tanong kung saan po napunta yung pera na binigay kay La Chica. Based po ito sa affidavit ni Madriaga, which is attached in this complaint. So therefore, there is a recital of facts which constitutes the offense charged. Thank you po.
You read the name of Nolasco and La Chica. Just for the record, Congressman Joel Chua, who are these personalities? Nolasco and La Chica. You read that from the affidavit.
They are both, I think, security details of the Vice President.
Nolasco and La Chica.
Yes.
Thank you. Would you like to comment, Honorable De Lima?
To add,
Yes.
Nung nakaraang taon, yung pong pagbubukas ng mga envelope, I don't think yan po ay kasama sa trabaho ng Kongreso. Dahil ang pag-audit po ay trabaho ng COA. Meron po tayong Latin legal maxim, potestas delegata non delegari. Delegated
The
power should
Honorable
not be
Marcoleta
delegated
is
further.
reminded to confine the manifestation to the subject matter of the impeachment
Opo,
proceeding.
this is pertaining to the...
This is not
the
about Quadcom. This is the impeachment proceeding on the 2 complaints against the Vice President. Please stick to the subject matter of this impeachment proceeding.
But the envelope, yung opening of the envelopes, hindi po ba may
If
kinalaman
you have
ito?
concerns about the proceedings of Quadcom, perhaps you should address it in the other forums, but not in the impeachment proceedings. The Honorable Marcoleta is so reminded
Opo,
to stick to the subject matter.
yun lang naman po, Madam Chair, notices of disallowance. Ito po ay hindi mga dokumento lamang na ito ay appealable, contestable at hindi ito nangangahulugan ng Vice Presidente ay may ginawa ng irregular dahil ito ay contestable. Yun lamang po ang aking obserbasyon. At ma'am, if I may react dun sa earlier remark made by the chair, I think I was alluded to kasi nagkaroon po ng spectacle kahapon.
The chair just adopted the manifestation of the Honorable Marcoleta yesterday during our determination of form.
Opo, yung pong I am speaking out of premonition. Actually, I'm not speaking out of mere premonition. I was speaking out of experience.
But that's
Opo.
what the committee heard. Nevertheless, Honorable Marcoleta, this is likewise not a subject matter of this impeachment proceeding.
Opo, winawarningan ko lang po ang audience na to observe proper decorum. Wala naman po sigurong masama doon, Madam Chair, di po ba?
But of course, for as long as the public are not committing any offense inside this committee hearing, then there is no basis at all to call their attention or to even mention their name.
Okay, ma'am, pero nagkaroon po ng president kasi sa Senado. Salamat po.
Honorable De Lima, would you like to comment?
Very briefly lang.
The sui generis proceeding. This is not a criminal proceeding, neither is this an administrative nor a civil proceeding. The Honorable Zamora.
Madam Chair, with all due respect to our colleagues here, I would like to remind everyone about where we are at the stage of our proceedings. We are discussing the sufficiency of, in substance of the impeachment complaints, and as such, Rule 3, Section 5 of the House Rules on Impeachment Proceedings state that the requirement of substance is met if there is a recital of facts constituting the offense charge and determinative of the jurisdiction of the committee. So we have to confine ourselves within the four corners of the complaint to check if there is a recital of facts which will show the nexus, as the Honorable Laila de Lima has repeatedly said, with the impeachable offenses charge. Thank you, Madam Chair.
Madam Chair.
Thank you. The Honorable Vice Chair Dumogan.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I was about to point out, we are in the determination of sufficiency in substance. And as far as ground number 1 is concerned, it had been supported by complete narration of facts and even documents.
Vice Chair, speak closer to the microphone, please.
Is completely supported by narration of facts as well as certified documents. So, as far as I am concerned, so that we give due process as being claimed, we answer it in the positive so that later on the respondent will be given the chance to explain. Because look, the confidential fund belongs to her office, and she can, with respect to the disallowance, it will be only her if she did appeal that one or she did not. Because as far as the records is concerned, this was a long time that it did happen, and when the disallowance was issued in, we do not know of any appeal that had been done by the concerned respondent, Madam Chair. Thank you, Madam Chair.
Thank you. The Honorable Arbison. Kindly turn on.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I just want to make a manifestation regarding the definition of confidential fund.
Yes.
Confidential funds are lump sum budget allocation for government agency, basically for surveillance, intelligence gathering, and security-related activities. These funds are designed for expenses that cannot be disclosed publicly to protect national security, peace, and order. Common use to include purchasing information, renting safe houses, and conducting undercover operation. Thank you, Madam Chair.
Thank you. Would you like to comment, Honorable De Lima?
No need, Madam Chair.
Madam
The
Chair.
Honorable Padiernos, and then Honorable Erice, and then Honorable Degamo. Honorable Padiernos.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I just wanted to make a few comments based on the observations of all of our committee members. So as mentioned by the Honorable Zamora, at this stage, we are merely looking at if there is a recital of facts constituting the offense. So at this moment, we are not weighing evidence or proof. And we only determine whether, first, the allegations are more than mere conclusions of law. Number two, the impeachment complaints specify acts or omissions attributable to the respondent. And number three, the acts fall within the constitutional grounds for impeachment as provided for in our Constitution. So yun po yung betrayal of public trust, treason, bribery, other high crimes, and so forth. So, just to ano lang po, for the consumption of our viewers, hindi pa po natin dinedetermine dito yung guilt ng ating impeachable officer. Hindi natin sinasabi na ginawa niya yon. In fact, parang ano po yan pag nag-file tayo ng isang complaint, criminal complaint before the prosecutor. So, we are here acting as prosecutors and checking if there is probable cause, in this case, to determine whether there is, at this moment, recital of facts constituting the offense charged. At sabi nga po ni Honorable Dumogan, meron pa pong opportunity ang ating impeachable officer to respond to this complaint. Hindi naman po na wala na po tayong due process, kumbaga. Bibigyan po siya ng pagkakataon to defend herself in this committee. Nevertheless, gusto ko lang pong mag-make an observation. So, as to ground one, assuming the allegations as pleaded for threshold purposes, the complaint alleges large-scale misuse and conversion of confidential funds in a manner that, if true, would plausibly constitute betrayal of public trust. Of course, minention din po yung labels ng plunder, malversation, and graft, and corruption. Pero tandaan po natin, itong mga crimes na to, may mga elements po yan that is provided under the law, and especially for mga malversation which is under the RPC, may mga requirement po yan na dapat may bad faith or criminal intent versus yung plunder, which is a special law, mala prohibita po, criminal intent is not required. So what I'm trying to say is, insofar as the crimes that were alleged, medyo, sabi nga po ni Honorable Rodriguez, medyo upon perusal of the complaint, borderline po yan. Hindi natin pwedeng sabihin na pwede pong impeachable offense. Pero under betrayal of public trust, which is a catch-all phrase as given by under our jurisprudence, pwede po natin sabihin pasok Pero again, we're not saying here that the impeachable officer committed betrayal of public trust. We're just determining now if, kapag nalaman po natin na ginawa niya to, does it constitute that impeachable offense? So yun lang po, Madam Chair. Thank you.
Thank you. If there are, would you like to comment, Honorable De Lima?
Briefly, Madam Chair.
Yes, please.